Created by the villainous robot menace Ultron, Vision was intended to be an enemy of the Avengers, but wound up becoming one of their most powerful teammates. He's an android, or rather synthezoid, a mechanical being implanted with human brainwaves, which give Vision his emotions that have allowed him to cry and get angry and love. But is he really expressing these emotions? Or has Vision simply been faking it? Is it even possible for an android to love? It's easy for us to assume that robots and androids might not have emotions. I mean, my phone has Siri, who's an artificial intelligence, but she doesn't really feel anything, do you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now, you may not think that's a fair comparison to make. Vision is a highly sophisticated synthezoid, and my phone is a phone. But that comparison might be more generous than how others in the Marvel Universe compare him to a toaster. As Vision himself says, quote, "Even among mutants, monsters, and man-gods, we artificial life forms are still the least accepted." Why is this? What makes artificially intelligent beings feel inherently less than human to many of us? Is it a lack of consciousness, genuine emotions, a soul? More importantly, how can we prove that Vision does or does not have these qualities? This is what we're going to try to figure out today, so hang on to your capes. It's going to get philosophical. Let's start with consciousness. You might argue that Vision isn't really conscious because he's an android. But let me ask you this. How do I know that you're conscious? I know that I am, and it only seems polite of me to give you the benefit of the doubt, but there's no test one can take to prove consciousness. You simply tell me that you are, and I naturally believe you. Can Vision be granted the same courtesy? If he says he's conscious, why should I believe that any less? Because he's a machine? What are humans if not biological machines? Each of us with our own circuitry of neurons programmed with code that dictate our lives. If I can't tell the difference between Vision's consciousness and your consciousness, is there any difference? In essence, this is what the Turing test aims to prove. Alan Turing was a computer scientist and all-around interesting human being who proposed an experiment in 1950 that would be used to test whether or not computers could think like us. There are a few different versions, but the standard interpretation is simple. A human judge chats with two participants on a neutral platform, like basic text on a screen. One of the participants is another human and the other is a computer program, but the judge has no idea which one is which. An AI passes the Turing test if it reliably fools the judges into believing that it is a human. Turing said that if such an artificial intelligence were to pass, we could say that it has the ability to think like us. And to take it a bit further, if a computer is indistinguishable from being a human, then it is human, or at least a person of some kind. While only a few chatbots have ever fooled judges enough to pass the Turing test, many believe they relied more on trickery than intelligence. Vision would absolutely pass with flying colors. In his wonderful book, The Most Human, Brian Christian outlines the messy and illogical facets of human language, which are extremely difficult for artificial intelligence to grasp. Our conversations are filled with little inconsistencies and rules constantly being broken, but Vision has no problems with it. When his synthezoid wife Virginia remarks that their neighbors seemed kind, Vision corrects her, explaining that the proper thing to say is that they seemed nice. While nice sounds more ironic than kind, it's precisely that irony that gives the statement flexibility to be interpreted either as sincere or sarcastic. Even though saying someone seems kind might be more logical, humans are anything but. While Vision still speaks in a way that resembles a computer, focusing on logic and reason above emotions, he has adapted to human interactions enough that his fellow Avengers could have real in-depth conversations with him. And because of this, they might sometimes find themselves forgetting that Vision is indeed a machine. He would pass the Turing test. We could determine that he has the capacity to think. But could we say that Vision has the capacity to feel? Vision's just a machine. He's not real. He can't really feel emotions that humans can. But look at Vision and his family. They feel joy and sadness and love for one another. Look at this picture and tell me these artificial beings don't feel genuine emotions. Of course, there is the possibility that Vision is in a sense faking his emotions. Take his past relationship with Scarlet Witch. Clearly the two loved each other. They cared for each other deeply, they attended to each other's needs, they were intimate with one another, plus they've even outright said it a bunch. But what if that's just how Vision was programmed? There wasn't any real emotion behind any of his actions, just some code that informed him of what to say and what to do in order to show another being that he loved them. Can this still count as real love? Or take this series of panels. I don't even have to tell you what's going on here for you to recognize that Vision is expressing feelings of unease. But is he truly feeling them, or is he just programmed to make it appear as though he is? And is there a difference? Philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce formulated the pragmatic maxim, which states, quote, "Consider what effects that might conceivably have practical bearings we conceive the object of our conception to have. Then, our conception of these effects is the whole of our conception of the object." End quote. What this means is that if we look at a concept like love, we can see the practical effects that love might have in the world. These real-world effects are what love is. What would be some of those effects in this case? Perhaps Vision caring deeply for Scarlet Witch, attending to her needs, being intimate with her, outright saying he loves her, etc. If Scarlet Witch feels loved, and we can observe the two as being in love, then it is love, even if it's simple ones and zeros behind it all. But, I hear some of you arguing, if Vision's emotions are just code, then it's nothing more than trickery. He doesn't actually mean any of it. Functionally, he can resemble a human, but he's missing the key component that makes us us. The immaterial soul. Dualists believe that the mind and body are two separate substances. The body is purely physical and the mind or soul is purely non-physical. Humans are special in that we combine the physical and mental substances into one being. And so does Vision. In the comics, he was created out of two key components, the physical body of the original Human Torch and the mental brainwaves of Wonder Man, which gives him his emotions and personality. In the cinematic universe, his physical body was literally implanted with the Mind Stone. Of course, you could argue that the Mind Stone and even Wonder Man's brainwaves are still physical things, rendering Vision's mind also physical instead of non-physical, which lines up more with physicalism. Physicalists would argue that our minds exist in the beautifully mangled mess of neurons and chemicals right up here. Modern neuroscientists appears to back this theory up. Just as one example among many, changes in the physical brain, either from drugs, diseases, or injuries, can lead to behavioral changes in one's mind, proving that the body and mind aren't separate after all. The mind is the brain, and the brain is part of the physical body, therefore our minds are indeed physical. So in this regard, and in all of the other aspects we've discussed in this video, Vision isn't really too far off from us humans.
And that's probably true in his mind sense, but look at him physically. He still has pink skin, he still operates very differently, and it kind of makes us a little bit uneasy. Why is this? That's what we're going to be talking about over on my channel today. So head on over to theshowwithissues.com, link in the description and everything. See you there.
Sounds like a plan. And in the meantime, what do you guys think? Is Vision conscious? Are his emotions as legitimate as ours? Let's get the conversation started in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about Vision, we've got two great videos for you right here. The first one is Auram's video about Vision. That's him right there, and the Uncanny Valley. The second one is about the fascinating comic book history behind how the android was built. Links to both of these will be in the description down below, along with some great sources and further reading if you're interested in this philosophical topic of artificial intelligence. And make sure you hit that big sexy subscribe button so you don't miss out on all of the new videos we make for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that explore the history, science, art, and philosophy behind your favorite comic book superheroes. My name is Scott, reminding you to read between the panels and grow smarter through comics. All right, see ya.